Nope.
Alright you guys, what is up? My name is James from James Reptiles, and in today's video we're going to be talking about how a lot of people should pick their breeding stock. So let's jump into it, shall we? So these are all my Dalmatians. This is all my current and future breeding stock. The male underneath right there, or no, not the male. The male underneath over there, 2 females, and then another female on top. She's breeding currently with a different male, but my first passion project was Dalmatian crested geckos, and that's honestly what I think is the best way to start. You have to have a passion. You have to... Give me a second. I got geckos all over me right now. Alright, so you have to have a passion. I have all 4 of those Dalmatians. I have a male and 3 females, and they might not be the craziest super Dalmatians you've ever seen, but I put a lot of time and effort into those animals, picking out stuff, raising it up, raising it up, and those specific animals are going to be the future of my crested gecko Dalmatian breeding project. To put a little summary into that, I've had no specific breeding project so far. It's always like, oh, I can get a pair of Dalmatian, or I can get a pair of gargoyles. I have cresteds, I'm going to breed them. I've had fat tails I was going to breed. I'm setting up a fat tail group. I'm setting up a leopard group. And for the first time, I have a full group. So this is the group. They're not changing until they lay eggs and I see what kind of babies pop out. They're not changing. And for me, it's all about passion. It's all about what do you want to do. So you find your thing. You say, what do you want to do? If you're first starting out, what do you want to do? Is it Dalmatian crested? Is it pinstripe crested? Is it red bearded dragons? Is it white leopard geckos? Is it black ball pythons? Whatever it is. You find what you want to do. You figure out how you're going to do it. And you strive for it. You search the internet, you work hard, you get overtime, you buy the animals, you buy the stock, you work with the animals, you reproduce the animals, and you work with it, and you just go hard all the way. So there are a bunch of things I look for when I'm picking my breeding stock. The number one most important thing is that it has to be something you're passionate about. If you're not passionate about it, you're going to burn out, you're not going to enjoy it, you're going to give up, and you're going to end up selling off the project, or you're just not going to care about the results. Let's move on to the second thing. Let's say you're like me and you love Dalmatian spot crested geckos. They're the best. Let me pull my best girl out for you. I bought her for $200. You can see she's got some good spots on her. She's not crazy, nothing crazy, but she's, a sub-adult female. And I scoured for a couple of days looking for a Dalmatian female like her. I was looking for something a little bit more. Anything more I could find was upwards of $800. And obviously that wasn't going to work. I am on a budget. It may not seem like it sometimes, but I am. And I got this girl and I said, you know what? She's the best I could do. She's awesome. I can't wait. And then we went to the reptile show. And there was a company called Water Girl Exotics. I'll post her Facebook down below if I remember it. Her husband was there, or boyfriend, or something like that. I don't know where she was, but those geckos were gorgeous. He said she's been doing it for a bunch of years, so she's had time to make her breeding stock the best of the best. They were $400 for adult female super Dals. I would not have bought this gecko if I knew she was going to be there. I love this gecko. This gecko's amazing. But you need to spend time finding the best breeding stock. She fell. I thought for a time this was the best I was going to get for my budget, but it obviously was far. I was far wrong. So one thing you definitely want to do is you want to take your budget and you want to say what's realistic. You don't want to start at zero. You don't want a gecko with 1 Dalmatian spot and breed it to something that's plain and be like, all right, I'm going to wait to hatch out one with 2 Dalmatian spots. I'm going to raise that. That's going to take years. You're chasing, it's a wild goose chase because people are already making super Dals. You have to give yourself a little bit of an edge, a little bit of a head start, whatever it takes. You definitely don't want to buy weak, unhealthy stock. And if the breeder you're buying from is unreliable, or if you think they're unreliable, don't breed anything you buy from them. It's cool to sell it, make sure it's healthy and sell it. But I wouldn't recommend breeding whatsoever. There's nothing good that can come from it. You might get a couple babies, but then they're going to be weak and they're not going to be great, and that's just not good. One of the last things I look for when I'm picking my breeding stock is this project sustainable? Dalmatian crested geckos and super Dalmatian crested geckos are always asked about. Their prices are always high, and there's not enough of them to go around. And I know that. And in a year, I'll have awesome babies from all three of these females hatching out with awesome Dalmatian spots. Probably not her as much. Babies will have some, but I'll have some amazing, amazing animals. I'm going to keep back some. I'm going to sell some. I'm not going to keep back a bunch. I want to make a bunch of money off of this project, and I know I can. You don't want to... The camera's focusing. Hold on. Okay, I don't know what it's doing. You don't want to pick a project that's done a million times, it's not worth as much money, and just do exactly the same as someone else. If you're going to breed pastel ball pythons, cool, there's a million people doing that. If you do it exactly the same and you don't put your own flair on it, you don't have your own ideas with it, nothing's going to change. Sure, they sell for a lot, but why would anyone buy from you when this guy's been doing it for 20 years and he's the guy, right? So there's not a lot of that in cresteds. There's not a lot of the guy. I'm trying to fill that spot. I'm trying to be the guy. There are a lot of great crested gecko breeders, but crested gecko breeders aren't good at making themselves known. They're not good at putting themselves out there. I think one of those there's one guy on YouTube. His name is Soastic. I don't know how you pronounce it. I don't remember how it's spelled. He's got a YouTube channel, I think with like 5,000 subscribers, and every crested gecko he buys, every crested gecko he breeds looks amazing. But he stopped working with them. He stopped caring. He made a video about how crested geckos are basically now considered garbage animals, and some people are selling them as office feeders because they're selling them so cheap. That's not how I see it. Personally, I think he did a good job. He made his YouTube channel. He branded himself really big. I think I can do better. I think I can brand myself bigger. I think I can reach a lot more people. I think I can show my passion and show how much I love these animals and be able to sell. So the Dalmatian project starts here. Basically, this is Dalmatians. This is going to end up being pinstripes. It's definitely not there yet. I'm in no rush to work with the pinstripes. I've got a couple females raising up. I've got a couple different animals that are babies that I'd love to see in the pinstripe group. But it's not there. It's definitely not there. Gargoyles. I have a red stripe male, and the female's kind of a red polka dotty blotchy pattern. She's nothing too exciting, and he's not even the best red stripe. I'm not looking to do anything specific with those as of yet. They're two normal gargoyles. If something cool hatches out and I think it's awesome, I'm definitely going to work with that. I'm not just going to produce blah animals that are alright. Like, sure, they sell their gargoyles. They're more expensive than cresteds off the bat, but you got to do something with it. Gargoyles are still pretty uncommon. There's probably one or two people selling them at the show, and they're $100 to $300. Like, you don't know. They're just not there. And this is just to grow up. The lily white, everyone's doing super, super, super high white animals. Everyone's throwing them in with exanthics right now. I just have that one baby lily white. So as of yet, I don't know exactly what I'm going to do with it. I love the high white animals, but they're so friggin' expensive. And there's no way I will be getting one of those in the future. Last tip for picking your breeding stock. Pause. So this is something I'm definitely guilty of. I go to a lot of shows. I love going to shows. They're my favorite thing. If I'm at a show, I have to buy something. I have to come home with an animal, and I try not to, and then I end up coming home with something. The problem with that is I'll go to the show. All right, I gotta get something. And I said, okay, me talking to myself at the show. If I have to go home with something, let's have it be a crested gecko. I like that one. That one's a good price. That one's nice looking. I like that one. It's cute. Personality, awesome. Buy it. You come home and you're like, cool. Where does that fit in? Cool. That animal's got a kink. Cool. That animal is the wrong sex. Cool. Awesome. Didn't know, didn't see it, didn't whatever. I've had all those things happen. I've had sick animals come in. Not sick, but just not healthy, strong animals that I've purchased at shows, and I didn't realize it because there's a lot of hype behind the show. There's a lot of excitement. You want an animal. They have animals. And there's a lot to distract you. If you're looking for breeding stock, do not buy at a show, do not buy at a local reptile store. Even if the animal looks perfect, even if it might be a decent price, don't do it. And I say that and I still do it. Don't do it. If you're looking for Dalmatian crested geckos, hit up the local breeders, see what stock they have, because then you don't have to ship it. Then hit up the big hitters. You know, I'm looking at geckos, Tiki's geckos, Supreme Gecko. I don't know any off the top of my head because I don't look at the competition. I look at my animals. I say, my animals are exactly how I want them. They're going to sell. You get the stock you want. You get it from the right people. If it has a kink and they're selling it, they're going to let you know. You're not going to find out as you're holding it at the show as you just bought it. If it's weak, they're going to tell you before they ship it. If they don't, you can ship it back, get a refund because they don't want that on their name. It's hard to do that at a show. You know, you take it home and you find out and then it's too late, right? How are you going to contact them? How are you going to ship it back? If it's the wrong sex, you're going to know the sex off the bat because you're buying it online. They either know the sex or it's too young, and at that point you're taking a risk anyway. So these are my tips. I hope they were helpful. Be passionate. Buy healthy breeding stock. Don't buy at shows, and make sure you do your research. Those are the 4 crucial things that if I could go back to when I first started breeding crested geckos, I'd have $1 million right now, because I would have taken my credit card, bought 4 amazing super Dalmatians, and the best male you could possibly think of, and just blown it out of the water the first year. I would have raised them up and blown it out of the water the first year, and I would have made all my money back, and I'd be living in a mansion, and I have a Lamborghini because I would put all that money back in and pick the next best project that I wanted to work with, and it would have been perfect. But here we are. I'm a year out from amazing babies, from the perfect babies, and I'll get some from that girl. She laid her first clutch like last week. It was infertile. Wasn't even that male. This is the first time putting that male with any of these females. So I'm hoping something happens. I'm hoping, the first couple babies may not be his, depending on sperm retention and all that. But Super Dalmatian project, Pinstripe project, Sarah and Tegan, I need to sell them and I need to buy, what I need to do, they're going to keep laying eggs, so I'm going to keep them. I need to wait for super awesome pinstripes and quad stripes to raise up so I can swap them out, so I can sell those two and swap them out, but I'm going to leave them because they're laying eggs, and why would I get rid of a gecko that's laying eggs? That's wasted money. But anyway, I'm James from James Reptiles. I really hope you guys enjoyed. This is kind of like a very passionate subject for me, so it's something I definitely wanted to touch on. I love Super Dalmatians. They are my favorite. Every time I take out one of my Super Dalmatians, I stare at it for 10 minutes and I go, whoa, is that spot over there? Whoa, is that how that looks? My animal looks like this? Whoa. Pardon me. This is definitely a passion for me. A lot of my animals are passion projects. The Super Snow White and Yellow radars are passion project. Everything that comes out of that is beautiful. And I don't want to isolate it. I don't want to make only those. I want to make a variety because I love seeing variety come out. That's why I love the crested geckos. Nevertheless, I'm James from James Reptiles. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. All that really helps at the channel. If this video helped you, if it inspired you, if it made you want to refigure out your groups, let me know. Comment down below. And, we can talk about it. I love hearing that kind of stuff. Make sure to hit me up on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, jamesreptiles@gmail.com. If you have any personal questions, don't feel afraid to ask. I've definitely made mistakes. You've made mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. If you can avoid some of them, awesome. But you're never going to avoid all of them. Anyway, I hope you guys have a good day. You're watching this on Monday, and enjoy.